Hey, I'm Ryan.
And I'm Steve, and this is 60 Cycle Hum, the guitar buying, selling, trading, modding, fixing, breaking, reviewing, playing, guitar culture nonsense podcast.
We're the Coors of guitar podcasts.
We're the Costco pizza of guitar. We're definitely not the Papa John's of guitar podcast.
No.
Papa John's sucks, and we're okay sometimes.
Apparently, Papa John's is okay in the UK.
Papa John's is easily the worst delivery pizza in the United States.
I never thought they were awful, but I've never been like, yeah, I gotta get Papa John's. I've never had like, oh gosh, this is a terrible pizza experience from Papa John's, but I've never been like, oh man, I can't wait until I get to have this again.
I like their garlic butter.
I like that they come with a pepperoni.
I like to slather their garlic butter all over my body. I'm not even done with this yet. I'm already saying weird stuff.
Do you have anything new, Steve? It's our first episode and we're already starting sloppy tonight.
I bought a pedal.
You bought a pedal?
From...
What's that like?
Spruce Effects. Hashtag Demo Guy Brag.
Demo Guy Brag.
It's the Mount Hood Fuzz from Spruce Effects. This is the Get Offset podcast signature pedal.
You should go listen to the Get Offset podcast. It's fun. You know, friend of the show, Emily Harris runs it. Who else is on the show? I'm sorry, I forgot.
Andrew Renard from Fox Cairo. Accessories, gear, I don't know. He makes pedal toppers and some other stuff. It's really good artsy stuff. It's like laser cut pedal toppers. Yeah. I just don't really know a lot about it.
I always forget his name. I'm sorry.
Hater.
I know. So how do you like it? I mean, we were playing around with it before we started recording.
Cool. We posted a video on the Instagram.
Oh yeah.
It's basically a 3-knob muff or a 3-band EQ muff, the germanium boost. One of these positions is LED. The other position is not LED.
Let me see it real quick. Yeah, it has some interesting controls in here. It's got a presence knob, which is really interesting.
Yeah.
And then that boost really adds, the boost is before the fuzz, and it adds a bit of an edge to the gain.
It's cool.
Yeah.
It's pretty versatile. It's like, I mean, it's a muff, so it can get pretty woolly, but you can also dial in some like really cool, just like rock distortion sounds.
I only messed around with it for a couple minutes, and I got into a wide variety of sounds from it. So pretty cool. I don't know what the whole arrangement is over there. You're the one who bought it. Do you know what's going on with Get Offset and Spruce?
Well, this guy on right here, this is what Andrew looks like. And this woman over here, you can tell it's a woman because it's a long hair.
It's a long hair.
And that's Emily.
Right.
That's Andrew and Emily.
But like, what are they?
Mount Hood is a mountain.
Are they
in the hood?
What did they just
word homies
commission like a custom pedal? Is that all?
I don't know. I don't know. Okay. But there's only like 10 of these apparently made.
And you got one.
Yeah, I have one. So
congrats.
Very cool. Yeah. It's gonna be a lot of fun. I'm gonna throw it on a board with just like I finally put my regular guitar pedal board back together. So I'm gonna eventually put together a second board that's just gonna be like vaguely bass, but also just like maybe like every fuzz that I own that's not on my regular board, which is I think is only 2. And just some other stuff. It's like it's gonna be a board that has pedals on it that like aren't everyday usage for me largely for practicality reasons, but would be like things where I'm like, I want to do something a little more interesting. That's my thought. Why is there a fly in here?
I don't know. It's starting to turn to spring in San Diego. I don't know if you've noticed that.
It's going to rain tomorrow, Ryan, and that means it's winter again.
Only if it's cold. All the trees are starting to bud and flower, Steve. It's that time of year again. Spring is springing.
It's the most
spring is about to get sprung.
What's new with you, Ryan?
I finally ended the contest for the Dr. Scientist Atmosphere. Jim, if you're listening, you won because your comment, your suggestion for the catchphrase. I keep messing up what it's called. The catchphrase submission, which is "Stay Grounded." I picked it as the winner. So Jim, if you're the Jim who wrote "Stay Grounded" as the catchphrase submission, write me and give me your mailing address so I can send you this pedal. He hasn't claimed his prize yet. And I really like that catchphrase. I'm going to use it. I'm hoping to abuse it enough that it becomes recognizable and I can put it on shirts and sell it to people. Like you.
Grounded.
Like you. I basically want to be...
Unless you have like a hum in your circuit and then maybe you need to get lifted.
I basically want to be Philip McKnight with his No Your Tone shirts. I want to have my own shirt that I can
That
print.
should have been your catchphrase. No, comma, your tone.
Your tone.
No, your tone.
Your tone. And make a little stick figure with the guy pointing at another person. No, this is your tone.
All right.
I sometimes when I look at that,
was pretty dumb.
Look at his dumb little graphic. Not dumb, but you'll understand what I'm getting at when I say this. When I look at his graphic for his shirt and his sticker and stuff, the Know Your Tone thing, I get a little angry because I used to work in an industry where I made those designs over and over again. I made like the stick figure T-shirts with like captions underneath them.
And he's
dumb
probably
little jokes.
sold way more of those than any of your designs ever sold.
No, there's no possible way. There's no possible way he's outsold me. He's made way more money. But like those shirts would get sold in like 250,000 runs.
Okay, but Ryan, that just means that stores bought 250,000 of them at a time. It doesn't mean those stores actually sold them.
And I kept ordering them.
That's because they were a great tax write-off when they sent the entire shipment to Africa.
Philip McKnight sells stick figure shirts from his YouTube channel. I sold stick figure shirts through Macy's, Sears,
Kohl's.
You
know, all these department stores that are... Ryan, you put those companies out of business.
I put Mervyn's out of business, probably. Let's get into the episode. Let's not waste any more stupid time.
This first ad is sent by Zach Broyles. This is a Casio Fujigen EG5 1984 dark gray guitar with cassette player. $580 plus $95 shipping.
This is the sort of thing where, I mean, I have a reason I wanted to talk about this, but we'll get into the nitty-gritty of it.
You can
first.
play it.
You can
listen to a cassette. You can even record you playing and play over it. Come on, it has built-in overdrive. Really?
Yeah, it's got to, right?
You can change speed of tape playing, and also it's a really nice guitar, not a plastic toy. Sick, insane.
It does look like it's made out of plastic, though. It's got to be made out of plastic.
We can provide you a video with instrument. Ask for any info or pictures. Where's this shipping out of?
I don't know.
Doesn't say, but $95 worldwide, I guess.
I kind of want this. It's $95?
No, it's $800.
Oh, screw that.
$580 plus $95
it's $580, $95 shipping. So it's $650.
Dude, it's got a bullet truss. I don't know. That's just the thing. The tuners look okay. The home plate tuners.
I don't know.
What do you want to say about this? It's obviously plastic. It obviously takes mad D batteries.
No, that's the main thing I want to talk about. I just recently had to buy a big pack of like D or C batteries for a baby toy.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like $12.
Yeah.
To get a couple of them. It was ridiculous. This thing looks like it's got a huge compartment back there. How many batteries do you think this takes? I bet it's all double A's. I bet it takes like 9 double A batteries.
I bet it's 4 D batteries.
Only 4? That's a wide compartment back there.
I think that's 4. How many double A's did you say?
Like 9. I think
9 double A batteries takes up less space than 9.
But it's three rows of 3. That's what I'm seeing here, like in the spacing.
Maybe.
I think it takes 9 double A's or it takes like 6 C batteries.
You think it's a C battery?
I don't know. But my point is, like, it's going to cost you like $10 every time you take this out and gig it. Every time you fire up that tape cassette, you're going to feel money flying out of your pocket.
It does have a speaker in it. It will need more battery for that speaker.
It's really got to drive that speaker. It doesn't take that much energy to drive a speaker, but like the motor in a cassette player, that chews up batteries. Did you ever have a cassette player?
Yeah, like a long
like a Walkman or something like that?
Yeah, but I never ran like batteries and stuff. Oh, I guess I did. I don't know. So you just think like this is too much batteries. I just want to know how many batteries is too much batteries.
I think it's kind of...
There's like a lot of information about this.
But not how many batteries.
But not how many batteries.
I kind of like this guitar. I would play this. I'd play this at church. I wouldn't be using the tape function while I played it. Maybe I would. I could load some like pad sounds onto it or something.
Found the service manual.
Oh, you know what would be hilarious to have on the cassette?
Okay,
Just
it requires
like,
7.7 watts. Damn, dude.
How many batteries?
6 AA's.
Damn. I was kind of close.
That's way less than I would think.
I was kind of close.
Not very much. I feel like that's just not very much.
It would be funny to use this as like a one-man performer, like a singer-songwriter type thing. And the moment you stop a song, you press play on the cassette and it's just like ridiculous applause. And you just let it run until you're ready to start the next song.
Right.
And it's this hard click on and off. Just like you finish your quiet, kind of like emotion-filled song. Click. Everyone's so excited, and then you press stop, and then you go into your next song.
No, you got to do it like where there's a timed gap. So you just hit play at the beginning of your set, and you start your song, and then like as soon as you finish, the clapping stops, and as soon as it fades out, you start your next song, and then as soon as that song is done, so it's all just synced. That's the way to do it.
That's the way to do it, huh?
Yeah.
All right. Are we done here?
I hope so.
It feels like all the steam just ran out of this ad. I wouldn't mind seeing more guitars made out of molded plastic like this. There's something kind of fun about it.
There's more and more brand. Did you ever play a RKS Wave?
No.
Yeah, they used to have those down at Blue Guitar in Mission Valley. They are one of like those like carbon fiber or whatever guitars that people were making, and they're like injection molded or whatever. They're plastic, basically, ultra lightweight.
Huh?
Yeah, I mean, and it's a serious guitar, like
yeah. But this looks like it's made out of the same plastic like a boombox is made out of.
Right. So you want more of that kind of plastic?
Yeah, I want like this
not
cheap,
like
weird plastic.
Was it Aristides guitars like that are also plastic, but they're like again injection molded. Like you just want cheap plastic. I wonder what it sounds like. I wonder what it
feels like.
You want to live in a disposable world with cheap plastic guitars.
I guess.
Fake plastic guitars.
They're real plastic guitars.
Okay.
That could be the episode title right there. Real plastic guitars.
Really plastic guitars.
I'm going to write it down. All right. You want to segue us into the topic?
No, I want to segue into our first sponsored segment.
Here we go.
This episode is brought to you by Daddario XL Strings. Regardless of what kind of tone you're looking for, whether it's ultra bright like the Pro Steel, pretty middle of the road tonally, the classic Daddario EXL nickel wound. I say middle of the road. Middle of the road is not a knock. It just means like that's the string that everyone wants.
If there ever was like a historical definition of an electric guitar string that anthropologists could put up in a museum and say this is the electric guitar string,
the Daddario nickel wound string.
End of the 20th and beginning of the 21st century. That's it right there.
Yeah. If you need something really mellow, you go for those chromes. What? Yeah. These strings are made in the United States. Do you know where they're made, Ryan? They're made in New York.
I know.
It's pretty cool. So head on over to daddario.com. Check out the link in the show notes, or just go there.
Tell them that we sent you.
Put this in there, daddario.com. All right, this episode is also brought to you by Vibes. Vibes, they make earplugs. You know, if you ever have that ringing in your ear after you like play or you go to a show or whatever, you know, when you have that ringing, it means you damaged your ears, and that damage is probably permanent. Yeah. So the whole point of Vibes is so when you're like old, when you're an old like us,
we're dads.
You can hear what your kids are saying to you. Somehow I feel like that's going to backfire. I feel like somebody out there is like, I don't want to listen to my kids.
Well, the point isn't to hear what your kids are saying to you. It's to not hear this obnoxious, like irritating background noise when you're laying in bed at night.
Yeah,
just this persistent, like uncomfortable ringing for the rest of your life. We're talking tinnitus.
Yeah.
You don't want tinnitus.
Yeah.
Be responsible when you're playing with your band, when you're going to shows. Wear some dang good earplugs.
Yeah, so these are Vibes high fidelity earplugs. Check out in the link the notes for the link. Wow.
I'm wearing them right now. I'm sitting next to Steve. I'm listening to him talk, and I can hear Steve's voice perfectly. Is just quieter.
Well, they have sound enhancing filters, and what that means is they kind of like cut frequencies, but they don't cut evenly. So what happens when you have like a classic foam earplug is they cut all the highs, and so all you get is the lows through that you already get through your bones, and like lows
get that
through the
bone
earplug.
tone. Not in a good way.
You
don't want that bone tone.
But with these, you're going to get a more even frequency reduction, and it's going to keep everything sounding really naturally, but just quieter, so you can enjoy your hearing for a lot longer.
Also, it doesn't look like you shoved a bunch of fish bait in your ears.
That is true.
Stop shoving fish bait in your ears. Get some good earplugs like these Vibes.
Yeah, go check out discovervibes.com.
Also, isn't there like a 60 cycle hum?
There is a 60 cycle
thing?
hum. Use code, I think it's 60 cycle at checkout.
We'll have a link and stuff down below.
Was it 10%? 50? I think it's
Something like
10% off and free shipping.
Whoa, free ship.
That's a pretty good chunk. So there we go.
Let's get back into the show, Steve.
Yeah. We had this topic sent in by somebody.
I'll pull up the screen grab so we can find out who.
But basically, the question is, will inexpensive Chinese guitars rise in value?
Okay, it's from Matt Tobin.
From Matt Tobin.
Oh, wait, no, it's not.
Just kidding.
Where'd it go? Andrew Smith.
Yeah, there we go.
Will the inexpensive Chinese import stuff of today, guitars, pedals, etc., one day be its own collector's market like many Japanese imports have become?
I think certain pedals could. I'm having trouble thinking of anyone specifically that would. But I think certain pedals could.
Freakish Blues Alpha Drive.
Actually, well, for what it's worth, like I realized the Freakish Blues Alpha Drive is a scam. Like it was like, what, just like
it's a repainted
Bayang or Joyo or something?
It's the, shoot, I can't remember it all of a sudden. It's the OCD clone.
Is that the Joyo Ultimate Drive?
Yeah, Ultimate Drive, I think.
Yeah, so I could see that becoming collectible because of like the notoriety of it, not because like the Joyo Ultimate Drive isn't going to become valuable.
Well, here's my thought. Yeah, it's the Ultimate Drive. I
can't think of any guitars.
You've got this super affordable like niche of pedals and guitars and maybe amps that everyone who's young is picking up because they're affordable. Everyone who's starting up now is picking up these things because they can order them 2-day ship on Amazon, $20 pedal. Yeah. Why wouldn't they get it? And a lot of them sound just fine.
Right.
I think that's the making for nostalgia. I think you're going to see 40 years down the road, someone be like, man, I just really miss my Ultimate Drive. It's hard to find a working one now because,
they're made so poorly,
made super cheap. And everyone who bought one, like just abused the crap out of them. So now it's like, now I have to search for an Ultimate Drive.
You don't think that in 40 years, someone will still be making a cheap OCD clone that would be like,
I think we're going to see
good enough.
It's going to be like the fuzzes from the 60s where it's like everything was just ripping off like the first couple fuzzes, but now you see clones of the ripoffs of those fuzzes.
Okay.
I think in 40 years we could see companies cloning Ultimate Drives alongside also having a clone of the OCD and being like, oh, this is more to Ultimate Drive specs, and this one's more to Ultimate or to OCD specs.
I don't know, man. I feel like that just sounds like a stretch. Like I have trouble visualizing that. I guess I thought about this topic more from the guitar side, though. I don't see Chinese guitars, especially like the current ones, having any value. And the reason for that is...
Give me some examples of Chinese guitars.
Epiphone.
Okay. Are you talking about like weird import stuff?
Harley Benton. That's my point. Is like
the non-branded stuff.
The comparison here is to like the Japanese stuff. Whether that's like, I guess there were certain like later Japanese. Well, one I'm thinking of like and these are also
Which
talking about,
era
like,
of Japanese are we comparing to? Are we comparing to
the
Taisco?
or
are we
doesn't the topic say like the talking about the inexpensive Chinese stuff? So I'm assuming like the inexpensive Japanese stuff of like the 60s.
Okay.
When it was like more like, like
I didn't know if you were comparing to like 80s Japanese like Fender or something like that.
Right. I mean, or maybe,
even later, like or earlier than that, like Japanese, like early Ibanez, like clone stuff.
Even
like
then, I think you run into problems because most of the known, at least to me, Chinese guitars are import brands. They're not importing brands. They're not Chinese brands. They're American brands, or they're, Japanese, like some Japanese brands like LTD or whatever.
A lot of times we assume that everything that's getting made over there is what we're seeing. Like China is exploding with bands and people playing music and people discovering guitar. I think China, as far as like the people who live there, are going to be the ones who determine whether there's a collector's market for Chinese branded guitars in the future, because they're the ones coming up into a new music scene over there. They're the ones experiencing their own homegrown brands, whether they be copying American products or not.
Right.
And you're going to see decades down the road people having nostalgia. I think nostalgia is the key component to this concept.
I don't know if I agree with that. I don't think I agree with that.
You can't predict nostalgia.
You're right. You can't predict nostalgia, but I think that you have to be offering something interesting with that nostalgia. I don't think people are going back and going like, oh man, I really want a 1976 Ibanez Strat copy, because when they were a kid in the 70s, they had an Ibanez Strat copy.
Well, I think they
want that because it's good. Like, it's a good guitar.
The only reason anyone knows it's good is because people used to have it and they tell you that it's good.
Right. And so those Ibanez guitars are also like available like worldwide. They were budget branded.
So are Chinese guitars.
They were then. What Chinese brand? That's what I'm saying. Like, I can't think of a Chinese brand.
Behringer.
Behringer's not a Chinese brand. Behringer's a German brand. Also, their guitars are garbage.
I'm AliExpress. I don't know.
AliExpress is a store. Wish is a store.
No, but you mean like they've got to have their brands over there that people are familiar with and that they're buying. I don't know.
I'm just saying, I'm not saying that they don't exist. I'm saying nobody is currently talking about them. So everything from here is speculative. It's beyond. That's what we're doing. It's beyond speculative.
What do you think this is?
It's beyond speculative. It's not just speculative. I can speculate.
This is episode 264, Steve. You know what we do here. All we do is speculate. None of this is correct information. I can speculate
that because they're only making like 10 or 12 of these pink Spruce Effects pedals, that in 3 months I could sell this for 3 times the price. That's reasonable.
The truth comes out.
That's a reasonable speculation. That's a little unreasonable. But to assume that a Chinese...
It's going to be the new Klon.
That a Chinese brand exists that currently exists, that we just don't know about because it's loved by 2 billion people, but somehow has not made it beyond the gates of Chinese internet.
If they're doing good in China, why would they come here? Save a lot in shipping.
I mean, that is true.
Save a lot in shipping. You think everyone in China knows every U.S. guitar brand? Or most of them anyways?
Yeah, because they all have factories in China.
But then, like, I think as it is with a lot of import stuff, it's only as good. It can be as good as the manufacturer orders it to be. I don't see any reason why China can't be making good guitars or great guitars. I think they probably are making great guitars right now.
Yeah, Epiphone, Squire.
Like, maybe somewhere down the road, someone will be like, you know what, that Chinese Epiphone I had was really pretty great.
I don't think that's going to lead to like.
Here's
so. I mean, there's two parts here. So for the first part is, in 40 years, will people be like, man, I wish I had an Epiphone like back in the day. But the other part of that is that they're going to rise in value. That's the other assumption.
Well, there's a collector's market for vintage Japanese oddball stuff, but it's debatable whether or not those things have risen in market.
That's true.
With inflation.
That's true.
So it's not whether or not they'll raise in value. It's more, will they continue to be like window shopped for? You know, will people still be like, oh, I want to find this specific one with this specific finish, with the original hardware.
Well, and that's kind of where I think, like, if there was like original-ish designs or like things that are unique, then I would be more open to the idea. I'm not completely closed off to this idea, but I would be like, oh yeah, I could see like that. And to that point, like, I do think like with the pedals, there might be something there. And some people point out like, yeah, those plastic house Behringers, they break all the time, but some of them, like the
people spend money to get those
There's a Behringer
rehoused.
like VB2 clone that's like supposedly just as good as the Boss vibrato. There's the one that's like the Behringer version of the slow gear that's supposed to be pretty good. Now, will it ever?
I mean, I've got the Super Fuzz up there, which
Super
is,
Fuzz,
you know, a clone of the Boss Fuzz that people pay big money for now. I don't know. We don't know. We don't know how we could fight about this forever, but we don't know because we're not in the future.
Well, I mean, every second that goes by, we are in the future.
No, we're in the present at all times.
We're in the present at all times, but we're constantly traveling to the future.
Yes, we are. We're traveling to
and we're leaving the past. Leaving the past behind us.
Next ad? Should we get out of this?
No, Ryan. We have to do another sponsor spot.
We don't have to. We get to.
I can't deal with this anymore.
Steve is he's not leaving. Don't worry. We didn't just break up. He's getting another beer. Daddy's got to have another beer to get him through the episode.
All right, this episode's brought to you by Chase Bliss Audio. Ryan's got a whole bunch of Chase Bliss Audio pedals to pick from.
I started to grab a Chase Bliss pedal, and I was like, I'm going to grab a bunch of Chase Bliss pedals. Look at all these pedals that I've got here. I got the Tonal Recall. I've got the Warped Vinyl Hi-Fi. I've got the Dark World dual channel reverb. I've got the Gravitas. This is the first one that I ever got my hands on. Remember the first time we ever met Joel, he handed this to us and was like, have fun.
Yeah, we made a video. I was in it. I was in that video.
You were in that video. We should post a link
I got
to that.
blood splattered all over me.
It wasn't blood. It was chocolate syrup.
Don't ruin it.
But I keep every single Chase Bliss pedal I get my hands on because they're just so dang special. Every single one of them is so fantastic. Like, I sell a lot of stuff because I can't keep it all. I keep all my Chase Bliss stuff. That says something.
Yeah.
Do you have any other pitches you want to add to this sponsor?
No, it's Chase Bliss Audio, Analog Heart, Digital Brain.
Yes, you got it right.
Something like that.
Digital Brain, Analog Heart.
Dude, it's been a long week.
Not long enough.
All right, this episode is also brought to you by Sinusoid Pro Audio Couture.
I got cables right here. Now that we do video, it's fun to be like, hell, here's the product.
Oh, hey, speaking of those,
we got cables coming out of the back of our mics too.
Yeah, every week Sinusoid does Tech Tuesday, which is where they take a combination of Tech Flex, which is this plastic coaty stuff here, and a cable, and they throw it up as kind of a preset combination, non-customizable. I mean, you customize the length, and I don't think anything else, and you get it for like an extra special price. You know which one they maybe they've done already, but I think would look really cool is purple wrap on white.
It'd be kind of violet-y. That would look cool, Steve.
That sounds very cool.
Yeah, that's a good suggestion.
Anyway,
I really like TechFlex stuff. I was amazed the other day because I had one of these cables down on the floor, wrapped around the garage here, wrapped around table legs and mic stands and light stands and stuff like that. And I was like, I wonder if I can get this cable back right now so I can wrap it up. And I just gently pulled on it, and it slid through all the obstructions in the room.
Oh, yeah?
And came all the way back to me without me having to pick up stands or move anything.
Nice.
The TechFlex just slides along everything. It's so great. It's so convenient.
Sinusoid Pro Audio Couture.
They make cables.
And smiles. All right, let's get back to this.
That was a weird little awkward pause at the end there. We were both deep in thought about Sinusoid, apparently.
This next ad was sent by Tori Oxner.
This is a fun one.
They used to have reverb tanks in cars. My coworker just told me he used to steal reverb units out of cars when he was a kid. I was blown away. I'd only ever heard of reverb tanks for guitar amps. Were any of you around when they used to do this? I would love to hear some old stories about these. Excuse me. So apparently...
I'm surprised I didn't know about this.
Yeah. Here's one, and it says, this new dimension in musical reproduction will excite and enthuse the most casual listener and provide the ultimate listening pleasure to the music lover. The tone reverberator produces concert hall effect by electronic means. A portion of the sound is heard directly from the front speaker. Another portion is routed through the reverberator, where it is delayed, reverberated, and amplified through the rear seat speaker. And it's got a little knob or switchy thing, so you can decide how much you're going to put.
I like that little radio reverb knob.
Yeah, you basically just install this into your car radio. And
I want to know what it sounds like. I bet if we tracked down like a classic car club, we could find someone locally who has one of these set up.
So apparently these were put in because back in the day, everything was on AM radio. So they were used literally to like add a reverb effect to like warm it up and give you like a more like live rate, like not radio, but like a live music listening experience. Like that's the idea. Did I lose you there, man?
Yeah, I'm just looking at these
looking at pictures of foam.
Yeah. I'm looking at the springs in the picture. I mean, they look like the springs that would be... I mean, they look they're coiled a little bit tighter, but they look about the dimensions that a springs would be in like an amp spring reverb.
Yeah.
I really wonder what this would sound like if you could repurpose it as an effect in your guitar signal.
Based on the size of this unit to the switch, this is basically just like probably a short tail spring.
Yeah, it's not big.
And it's designed to just probably mount underneath your
like you said, it's just
behind your radio.
It's to fill out that bright, crispy AM radio signal a little bit. Maybe it does. It wouldn't do like a ridiculous like long spring sound or something like that. It probably wouldn't drip the way you know that I would.
You turn it all the way up.
Yeah.
Every once in a while you're driving along and dude, if you're driving along and you're like it starts getting bumpy.
Just got the crash. Well, that's why you have a switch up front so you could turn it on and off.
Yeah. Yeah. There you go.
It probably didn't work all that fantastic. It's probably one of those things is like just another gadget to sell to people who want to add stuff to their
there's
car.
Probably some band out there that we haven't heard of who like their guitarist is like, yeah, I've been trying to do a lot of different things and like I just started running my guitar through this old radio reverb unit. It's so cool. Well, if it sounds like a very like local H thing to do.
If it's or like a Queens of the Stone Age sort of thing. If it's desired effect is to like smooth out like crispy AM radio, like it'd probably be great after like a really bright fuzz or something like that. Smooth out, some sort of dirty signal. Yeah. It'd probably sound really good. Man, I'm gonna have to figure out how much these things cost. See if I can get one cheap. Well, the trick there is to get one that works.
Probably.
And it sounds like the unit, like here's the thing. Another part of it has like a built-in speaker to it, or you attach it to the back speaker of the car that's already in there.
So
that's what I couldn't figure out.
In that one description, it's saying that you would
attach it to
attach it to your speaker. So basically, you'd have your radio and you have your output that goes to your front speakers, and then you would take
this and put the other output in between your back speaker and the
exactly
output. Okay,
exactly.
And that's why there's a long cable here for the control, because the control goes all the way up to your dash. Oh, it's totally a thing you add into your car, because look at this little clamp. You can put your screws through there. Just put some screws into your dashboard underneath your dash there, so you could adjust this thing. So cool. It's always fun to like find out about something new. I mean, we've done this show for 200 something, like nearly 300 episodes.
According to Apple, 223 episodes, and according to us, 233.
I see.
Because they got that number anyway.
Whatever. That's a whole debacle in the podcast world.
Whatever.
Apple Podcasts, they're crazy.
Ready to hit this next topic?
Of course I am.
This topic was sent in by Darren Schmays. He says, is it worth subscribing for a year just to get 10% off of something high end? So this is save 25% on Fender Play when you subscribe to an annual plan. Plus, all annual members get 10% off Fender gear for a year. Sign up now.
So much force in your voice there, Steve.
No, we're not even sponsored by Fender.
No. I'd love to be sponsored by Fender.
Would you, though?
I would.
Okay.
Fender, hit us up. I've tried to talk to brands like that at NAMM and stuff, and nothing ever comes of it. But one day, they'll realize the value of advertising through podcasts.
Debatable.
When a bigger podcast comes around. How could a podcast possibly be bigger than our own, though? Right?
Are you still talking?
We're the best podcast as far as guitar stuff
Anyways,
goes.
so this is, what do you think about this? Is this a good deal?
This has got to be a good deal.
What is Fender Play? That's the lessons, right?
Yeah, it's like their lessons thing that they're pushing. They put a sticker on all their new guitars. I've been meaning to like do the free trial to check it out to see like if it's any good or anything like that. Because I got to try out Guitar Tricks.
Oh yeah,
a while back, and it was fun. I wonder how it compares to that. But yeah, it seems like if you've got a big ticket like purchase in mind through Fender, like you want to buy like a great big like Vibrolux or something, or a couple American guitars, a custom shop or something like that.
you could
kind of clean up here.
You could buy particular made in Mexico models and still come out ahead.
Yeah, you could.
700.
I mean, if you've got a bunch
at 750 cents per month, you would pay 90,000 cents per year. I can't do that anymore. I can't add those zeros.
Let's just do dollars.
Yeah, so the plan is $750 a month.
So you'd pay like $90 a year.
Right, $90 a year.
You get 10% off. So if you buy something that's worth more than $900,
yeah,
you're in the black with this deal.
Exactly. So like a few years ago, if this plan existed and you knew you were going to buy a Fender Road Worn whatever, you would come out ahead because those were $9.99, and you would have saved 10% of that. So you'd saved $9.99. You'd save $99.90.
And this is off of their direct sales through their site. It says here 10% off Fender guitars, amps, and gear.
Yeah.
Do you think there's any asterisks there, like selected guitars and amps, or do you think
I don't know.
Like you don't? That's one of the reasons I need to get in.
If you were to go in and buy like a $4,000 Fender Mary Kay custom shop Stratocaster, would you just get $400 off? I mean, I would think you probably just
I'd hope so.
Right?
You'd be like, hey, listen, I'm a Fender Play member.
Yeah.
It's like being a Costco member. You get to push people around a little bit.
Well,
hey, I'm a member here. I want 10% off. I want my return on my investment, please. For I am a member. Here's my membership card.
Well, I'm sure as long as they're building more than 10% into their overhead, they're coming out like ahead, right?
Well, their gamble on this is that
most of the people who are doing this are probably going to be student level anyway, so they're not going to
buy $900 worth a year. And if they do, this is the sort of thing they'll sign up for this and then forget they had it for 5 years. They're like, hey, what's this charge that happens every month for $750?
Yeah.
Fender Play? Is that like Netflix or Hulu? And then they look into it like, oh yeah, I tried to learn guitar 6 years ago. I've been paying $90 a year to this service.
I feel like I think definitely if you're looking to get into lessons,
and I wonder why Fender doesn't sponsor us.
And
trashed on their whole concept here.
If you're looking to get into lessons, did you know we're selling a product for them? Actually, go get Fender Play, guys. If you're looking to get into lessons and you were thinking about like purchasing a Fender guitar in the near future or amp or pedals, they just came out with that whole new lineup of Fender pedals.
Yeah.
Which I'm still waiting on mine.
Did you order one?
No, I won one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Which one did you win?
I don't know.
It's still a mystery, huh?
Yeah. Don't we have a contact at Fender now? I need to hit them up and be like, I won a raffle.
I'm still like figuring that out. I wonder who.
They're going to listen to this episode and they're not going to respond to you.
You never know. They might listen to us and be like, "Yeah, we gotta work with these guys.
They're insane.
Top quality show here."
Anyway, it can be a good deal.
I think for the person who is looking to grift, not necessarily grift, but like get like the best deal they can on that top dollar guitar or amp that they've had their eye on for a long time. They look at this and it's going to be the thing that's going to push them over the edge. Because they're like, oh, I'm going to get 10% off. And maybe I can try out the thing. I'll try out the lessons thing.
I don't think the grift works here. Because anyone who's trying to do this to grift is just going to wait for that sick 10% off Guitar Center coupon to roll in.
Yeah, that's the thing too. You're waiting for, you're competing against like sales that happen with retailers.
Yeah.
But then this lets you just get in there and get what you want right when you want it.
Yep.
Instead of, like, if you wait till there's a Guitar Center coupon, they might not have exactly what you want when you want it.
That's true. Can they could order it though, right?
I mean, it introduced this 10% off for the Fender Play thing. It introduces an element of temptation, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, the fact that we're sitting here talking about it at all means that they've got something here. That's all I'm saying.
I think it's an interesting concept. Excuse me. I think, again, like if you're into lessons, I think the draw here is more that when you do an annual plan, so I guess that would be, you'd also be paying the $90 up front.
Or just committing, or maybe there's like a fee to pull out of it.
I bet you have to pay 90% or $90 up front. Hence annual subscription. And yeah, there probably is a thing where like they probably end up working out way ahead because they're paying up front, they're never really reminded like, oh yeah, I got to buy $900 worth of Fender stuff. And again, I think, Fender's not dumb. They're going to work their overheads into this whole thing. They're going to come out ahead, but this is like a nice perk. Especially it's like, if it's combining two things that a lot of people are probably into, and it's probably working the opposite direction a lot more, where people are seeing this and they're like, oh man, I really did think I did want to take up the bass this year. So, like I'm going to spend $600 on a brand new jazz bass. And I guess if I, went ahead and did this, like I'd basically be getting these lessons for like $30.
Also, Fender's been doing a great job at courting new players.
Yeah.
In the past year or so of their marketing, they're really trying to get the new player onto their brand. Mm-hmm. And, and so many people are shopping online now. You think about the way that like in-store salespeople have always tried to hard sell people like, oh yeah, you could get this beginner's thing, but if you want to have something you can really grow into, you got to get this, $800 guitar here.
Right.
This sort of deal kind of softens that concept in people's heads where they're like, oh yeah, I can afford a Squier right now. Mm-hmm. But then what if I want to have something that's more substantial in the future,
right?
And like they look at this like, I could get a year into this, and if I've grown, then it helps me get, some gear that's maybe more advanced or something like that.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's an abstract concept, but I could see it working on, someone's concerns when they're first picking up an instrument.
Sure. There's probably a lot of people, I mean, it's the beginning of March now, but probably a lot of people who would buy like a Squier pack and the lessons now, and then in 9 months are gonna buy like a Mexican, like a Fender Standard, or maybe I don't think they have the modern player line anymore, but whatever that step down, or maybe like a Squier Classic 5. Mm-hmm. Or maybe just a little nicer than the starter pack.
Maybe they'll start out with like a little solid state practice amp, and then be like, yeah, you know what? I'm going to treat myself. I'm going to get myself a tube amp. You know,
Blues Junior,
Pro Junior, or Blues Senior. Yeah, is there a Blues Senior?
Blues Grandpa.
Blues Grandpa. Do Blues Juniors like can you change their title as they get older? If you get a vintage Blues Junior, really does it become a Blues Senior?
It's actually really dumb. So I think Fender just rolled out like version 4 of like all of that hot rod line. So it's Pro Junior, Blues Junior, Hot Rod Deluxe, Hot Rod DeVille, I think just version 4. I say just rolled out like within the last year or two. And I was it dawned on me how dumb that there's a Fender Blues Junior 4. Like, so the Fender, now granted, there was never a Fender Blues. Well, I mean, the Blues Deluxe, Blues DeVille.
Right.
And Blues Junior, and then the Blues Junior 2, and then the Blues Junior the third.
Right.
So it's like,
they're just sequels, Steve.
It's
a franchise.
Blues Junior the fourth.
It's a Blues Junior franchise, Steve.
Just a thing I was
We're
thinking
all
about.
following these characters. We all want to see how this story arc continues. They've got to collect all the magic tubes so that they can destroy the dragon. I don't know.
Are they plastic tubes?
No.
Because those are just called straws.
They're not plastic tubes, Steve.
Oh, you want to hit this last ad?
Yeah.
Or you want to do some housekeeping?
Let's hit the ad and then
all right.
do
This last
housekeeping.
ad was sent by Scott Hamilton. Says, I've been helping a buddy look for a new board. Thought I found a great deal until I zoomed into the photo.
So you didn't see the problem
I
with this
did not
photo.
see the problem in this photo. I just stared at
it.
I actually
right
thought the problem with this photo was that it had 3, like the 2 far away strips of Velcro
went over the edge.
went to the edge, and the one in the front did not go to the edge.
I mean,
to me, that's problematic.
That's a little tacky. It's not a great look. Like,
yeah,
pick one.
Yeah.
You know, trim it or don't. Like, leave it, take it to the edge or don't. And you know it's uneven on the other side of that board too.
Oh yeah, take it to the limit one more time.
The real problem here, Steve, is that this monster of a person, whoever did this lunatic, this insane person put the hook side on the board.
That's because it's easier to vacuum. Everyone should be doing this.
No,
Makes it so much easier to keep your board clean.
No, I mean,
it's a true story.
No, you want the loop on the board.
That stuff's too hard to keep clean.
It's not any harder to keep clean. You're gonna get cat hair in the loops too.
Oh yeah, that's true.
It all gets like the same amount of linty and dirty. Are you really going to make a case that it should be reversed?
No, I always put loops.
I don't want to do a show with you anymore.
I always put loop down.
If you're a lunatic who puts hooks down on the board.
No, I put loop down. You know,
the
real reason to put loop down is because then your hook, like you can put that pedal on like any carpeted circuit on any carpeted surface, and it's gonna like hook into that.
Right, if you've got the hook underneath the pedal.
Yeah.
I mean, I do it in here all the time. I've got this cheap carpet on the floor, and it's like if I need to put together...
Hashtag demo guy brag.
I got this cheap carpet on the floor. No
I
big
do
deal,
this
guys.
all the time.
Yeah, whatever.
Do it all the time.
It was like
yeah.
I need to like throw a couple pedals together on the floor to go after a pedal that I'm demoing.
Yeah.
And they all just stay in one place because I've got hook Velcro underneath all my pedals.
Because you're not a psychopath.
Because I'm not a psychopath.
Well, I mean, debatable, but...
I'm not certifiable, But... like, I can't think of a good reason to reverse that. And also, like, the vast majority of people, I mean, this is the main reason to do it one way versus the other. The vast majority of people do it one way. So when you resell stuff, we're all on the same page here.
Yep.
We all have our Velcro ready to go. If I sell you one of my pedals, you can throw it on your board because you set everything up the same way as I do. It's smart. You don't have to rip Velcro off the back of things and cut new Velcro and waste... the precious resource that is the bark of the Velcro tree.
The bark of the Velcro tree.
Yeah, we're deforesting these Velcro tree forests at an alarming rate, and these jerks, these assholes,
oh wow,
are wasting Velcro bark by putting the wrong stuff down.
You're out of control.
I'm out of control.
These people.
It shouldn't make me as angry as it does, but I'm pissed off looking at this. They wasted a lot of Velcro bark here.
I mean, I think it's...
Who cares as a person who's going to buy it and is going to have
would
to
you buy this? Like, would you buy this if it was a good price?
If it was a good deal, I would, but then I'd know that I'd be sitting there with a pair of pliers, like, ripping at
a pair of pliers?
That Velcro gets stuck on it. I had to pull Velcro off of the... where is it? Oh. off this Outlaw board that I have here that I used at NAMM. I put down this Velcro, and then the person I was working with was like, no, take off the Velcro. It'll look bad in video. So I had to pull this off like an hour after I put it down. And I thought I was going to pull a muscle pulling the stuff off. Once the glue is on there, it is stuck.
Should have used, you got to use a little starter. You got to use a little Goo Gone on one edge to get it off.
I got the edge up, but then like once you start ripping, like it is on there. It's a pain in the butt to redo this stuff, and also if you're putting Velcro that needs to get removed off the bottom on the bottom of pedals, and you say you've got a Boss pedal, like a vintage Boss pedal.
It is hard to pull Velcro. You're going to pull,
you pull the Velcro off of
paint.
that. You're going to pull the sticker off, and you pull off the little bit that says "Made in Japan." Now you've devalued your freaking metal zone.
Worthless.
Your metal zone's worth less now. Oh,
Yeah.
metal zones were all Taiwan, right?
I think so.
The heavy metal.
Heavy metal. There you go.
Yeah.
I need to pull the song up so we can get out of here.
It's awful that I know that all metal zones were made in Taiwan. That's not knowledge I want to have in my head.
Well, it's knowledge you have, dude.
Yeah,
So
can't get rid of it now unless I get in a bad accident.
that could be arranged.
Wipe my
Dude, I saw
memory
that. Okay,
clean.
so I saw that place where that guy ran into your neighbor's house. It doesn't even make sense. That guy was drunk. He wasn't on his phone. He was drunk.
He wasn't acting drunk, but the way he crashed, it probably sobered him up pretty quick if he was drunk.
Look, I drive down your street texting people all the time. I have never hit a house.
So the other night I was sitting there watching TV at like 11 o'clock at night. I hear this explosion outside. It's like, well, I better go check on what it is. And this dude was driving down the street. Apparently he was playing with his phone, or his phone fell off his dash and he went to grab it and got out of control and crashed through the neighbor's like front like wall. Like they have this cement like decorative retaining wall thing around their yard.
And apparently he totaled a Mustang in the process.
Yeah, well the Mustang was right in front of where he impacted the wall, and so he clipped the front edge of the Mustang as he was jumping the sidewalk into the wall and pushed the Mustang back like 12 feet or something like that. Like,
yeah, so when I saw it, because I mean, I'm over here like every other week.
Sure.
I thought the guy was coming the way that I come in.
No.
Like I was flipping your neighbor's houses, so I thought he was coming the way I come in and just jumped the sidewalk. But this dude went over from his lane, across another lane, up on a sidewalk, through your neighbor's wall. That's not a dropped phone, dude. That's like, I'm trying to make killing my girlfriend look like an accident.
Mistakes happen real quick. People rip around
that guy was probably fast. I mean, that was probably the other thing, is going way too fast.
A couple of years ago, someone just down the street, a couple of houses down the other direction, they didn't see the stop sign coming up, and it's like a T-bone intersection there.
Yeah.
Middle of the night, ran the stop sign, didn't see that he was going to have to turn, was probably drunk, crashed into a power box as he was like trying to skid, turn, and not hit the power box.
Yeah.
Completely wrecked the front of his car, but was able to back up off of it and drove away, hit and run this power box basically. The sound, it was so loud it woke up the whole neighborhood. Were all out there at 2 o'clock in the morning. The power box disconnected his front bumper, leaving his license plate behind.
Nice.
Yeah, the cops came by and picked it up. And like, okay, we'll go find the guy. We have his address here.
Yeah. If you want to hear more stories like this, just kidding. You're not going to hear more. You're going to hear the same amount. You can join our Patreon group at patreon.com/60cyclehumcast. I'd like to welcome thank Taylor Dwyer for supporting us at the $10 level, which is the inner circle level, which means I get to pull his address off of the internet and send him a little package full of nifty little swag things.
Yeah, goodies and stuff.
I probably should hit him up because I've met Taylor before, and he might be one of the sizes of shirts that we have left.
He's a local boy. He works over. It's funny because his name is Taylor, and he works at Taylor Guitars.
Yeah,
he's a repair guy. And maybe I'm giving away more information than he wants given away.
Well, I'm
sorry.
It's one of those things where I talked to him at NAMM, but I only knew him because of his NAMM badge. But he's one of those guys that like I was like, I know you.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna talk to you like I know you. Anyway, thanks Taylor for supporting the show, and again, if you want to support the show, our goal this year is to get to 100 patrons on Patreon, and we are not really that close, but we're getting there.
I wanted to mention that
we took a negative at the end of February.
people had to, use money to buy Valentine's Day chocolate for
their
sweethearts. Engagement rings, Steve. They use that money for engagement rings. This romance. We should be happy for them. I just wanted to mention what we use this money for. The Patreon money, we use it to fund travel.
Yeah.
I'm planning on going to Summer NAMM this year to cover the event and to cover, various products that are there. Maybe to have just a good time hanging out with our friends. Some sick bro hangs. Like maybe we'll all get hot chicken together and I'll make some video of that or something like that. Also, it funds equipment purchases for us. I have been really thinking about picking up that Rode Procaster thing.
Really?
It keeps speaking to me. I opened up the Sweetwater catalog the other day, and it was the first page I landed on in the middle. Like it was page like 469.
My wife sent me a picture today. Apparently, I received 2 Sweetwater catalogs. I realized that I got an email from somebody else at Sweetwater who said like, "Hey, I know your engineer," and then I remembered just right now. Thinking about that I think I have 2 engineers assigned to me right now.
But anyways, if I do pull the trigger on that Rodecaster thing, it will give us the ability to let, like maybe some celebrity guests call in the middle of the show. We'll have a little thing here and we can press a button and
you mean like Kiefer Sutherland?
We'll be talking to Kiefer Sutherland about guitar stuff. Maybe we can get Mark Maron on the show finally. I mean, he's been begging us and we just don't have the technology to get him on the show.
So when we have it, it'll be like,
exactly.
We have the technology.
So
we can record him.
Patreon money supports endeavors like that, expanding the equipment that we have and the abilities that we have, and fun things like travel and getting things like the 50/50 pedal made and stuff like that. It's awesome. Being a Patreon is a huge benefit to the show.
Yeah. So with that said, this week's song is from Co Schneider from the Flippin' Flippers podcast. I should make a note to link them in the show notes if you want to check out that show. It's cool. They kind of take some of the stuff that we talked about early on, which is flipping pedals, and they go to the next level because
they're basically 60 cycle hum stuck in 2015.
Paul Pennington is he flips beyond the realm of things that I know how to flip.
Yeah.
He got like some like microwave or something recently for like $10 and turned around and sold it for like $300. It wasn't a microwave, but it was some like weird, I think it was like it was some kind of appliance that he like got dirt cheap and then flipped for like hundreds.
Nice.
Anyway, the song's from Co, who's the co-host.
The only co-host.
Yes. He says, here's a song I recently recorded and released for our patronizers. So don't support their show. You're going to hear the content right now.
Yep.
That's kind of mean. Around Halloween. It's a cover of a song by Chris Ledoux called The Passenger. I can't remember anything in particular about the signal chain. Hope you enjoy. So go check out their show and enjoy this song.
Bye, everybody.
Stay grounded.
Stay grounded.
I was driving down a lonely Texas road. The night was hot and sleep pulled at my eye. I was thinking about the wild times and the women that I'd had, the deceitful things I'd done and those lies. Standing in the shadows by the side of the road was a figure of a withered old man. He wore a black bandana, a rolled-brim Stetson hat with a 2-inch star band. He held his wrinkled hand up as a sign to shut her down, so I pulled over and stopped by his side. He opened up the door, slid in and sat down. My, ain't it hot tonight? I studied this old man and it seemed mighty strange for him to be out here all alone. Then he started talking and he told me many things of the times like those of us had known. He told me of the wildlife and the women that he'd had, how none of them had ever meant a thing. And he told me of a black night, much the same as this, strange and awesome things he'd seen. A man beside the road had raised his hand and flagged him down, so he stopped and let him in. The stranger told him stories like I am hearing now, about the wild times and all the sin. The car got cold and clammy, and this old man looked at me. Boy, I've come here for you. Your days of wicked sinning have come to an end. As a mortal on this earth, boy, you are through. And his eyes got red and fiery as he took his sentence off to reveal his evil horn shining black. My God, the fear came over me and my senses were all lost. I fought with him until we finally crashed. Next day the car was found at the bottom of a draw. The young cowboy was found beside the wreck. His car had been consumed by fire, but the cowboy had no mark except smoke and pitch